So a couple weeks ago, the kidlets and I actually set up a blanket fort downstairs in the office, like right next to the new. We converted the fireplace. It used to be a regular, proper fireplace, and actually, the old owners had tried to convert it, but it was kind of broken, and they had an insert in it. Anyway, whatever. Not the point. Point is, we put a new one in there, and it has all these pretty flames and stuff, like rocks and pretty flames and whatever. And the kids and I built a blanket fort around that area, hanging from the mantle, and it's epic. It's epic in there. All three of us can be in there fully stretched out, watch a little movie on the iPad. We haven't stopped doing that. We have not taken it down, and we have not stopped doing that. Like 4 or 5 times a week, we go down there before bedtime and we watch a little movie in our blanket fort. And it's amazing. And sometimes we just fall asleep there. And it's cool. And that's it. Like, I just wanted to tell you about my blanket fort. That was it. Because I think adults should appreciate the awesomeness of blanket forts just like children. And I do. So go make yourself a blanket fort. Okay, I'm done. Bye. I'm not done. I got a video still to do. So I'm going to do the video too, and I'm going to tell you what we're actually making in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 249 of 365 days of soap, and today we're doing another freaking recipe. So many recipes. And the recipe is for multi-purpose shavers, and so I like that. And the reason why we're doing that is because, as you probably know in my line, I have a specific shaver for legs and whatnot, right? So it's in the shower, and you know, the lather and the scrapey scrape with the razor. And then I also have another product for face and head, right? Well, a couple of those products, depending on if you are a crope kind of person or a solid shaver kind of person with the brush. And so my line actually includes multiple versions of shave bars or of shave soaps. And one of my wholesale accounts actually asked me if there was a way for me to do a multi-purpose shave soap that would work equally well on legs and also big awesome lather for, you know, face. And so that's what we're doing today. We are going to do a multi-purpose shave soap. I'm going to give you the recipe. I'm going to tell you what I think should go into a multi-purpose shave soap, and also probably still the best way to ultimately use any solid shave bar. You don't know, so let's go do that. Okay, so some multi-purpose shavers today, guys, and the recipe is as follows. We've got 15% castor, 45% babassu, 40% canola or olive. We will also be adding fuller's earth, kaolin, oatmeal, and bamboo to this recipe. Now, we're going to do for each of these 1 tablespoon of each. Now, the bamboo powder is going to be a very gentle exfoliant, which will be good for helping open up all of the hair follicles to make for a closer shave. The fuller's earth is going to be a nice skin softener to help out with that. The colloidal oatmeal is obviously for nice, gentle, soothing stuff that will help out with the the soothing of the skin, really. And the kaolin clay, well, kaolin clay is just great in all things soap. That's why I include it in every single recipe, and I've talked about that a whole lot. Now, this particular batch is a 3-pound batch, and so 4 total tablespoons. Well, 3 tablespoons of your powdered additives and then 1 tablespoon of your bamboo powder. So 4 total tablespoons of extra stuff. It can be kind of a lot. And so the batter can get kind of thick as a result. So always do keep that in mind. And I did go ahead and I did go ahead and decide at the end, before I started making this, that I wanted to do an aloe vera substitute for the water in this. This is totally optional. Of course, you don't have to do that, but in wanting to create a really good multi-purpose shaver, so one that's going to bubble up really nicely on, all the body, wherever you shave on all your body. So, legs and face and head and all that jazz. I also, of course, wanted it to be very gentle and soothing. So I substituted aloe vera liquid in place of the water at a 100% substitution for this guy. But again, totally optional. You don't have to do that. And for the color, because it can get kind of thick, kind of fast with all these different additives, I went ahead and put the color into the scent blend that I used for this guy. And the scent I just used according to, the scent usage instructions for the scent that I had. I tend to pick most scents that are like 10% max, right? And I then soak them at about 5% of the total batch weight. And so in calculating your recipe, you would, of course, figure out what your 15% castor oil is, your 45% babassu, and, the rest of the canola or olive. And then based on that, go ahead and put your scent in accordingly. Now, if you're doing bigger than a 3-pound batch, I would put more of each of these additives in. So these additives are a nice 1 tablespoon of each of them for a 3-pound batch. If you do a 6-pound batch, double it up. Or just experiment with it too. Like, that's one of the fun things about using your clay and your dry ingredient additives. You can do a ton of experimentation with that, and soap is pretty forgiving as far as how much you put in for those guys, for sure. So you can up it, you can increase it for sure, you can decrease it, but this is a nice starting point, I think. 1 tablespoon each for a 3-pound batch. Now, you see what I mean about it already getting thick as I put in the dry ingredients, which I have dispersed in water. Yeah, getting thick, which is good, because when you have a really lightweight exfoliant, really gentle exfoliant like bamboo powder in there, you do want the batter to be thick enough when you put that in that the powder itself will evenly disperse through the batch. If your batter is too thin, you really do run the risk of all of your exfoliants, regardless of what you're using, kind of settling down to the bottom. So we definitely want to make sure that it's well distributed throughout the entire batch, so each shaver gets a nice gentle exfoliant, because, exfoliation and shaving, that's good. I'm very much a multi-purpose, user of everything. So if I can get my exfoliation and my cool shave in at the same time, I'm there for it. Onto the pour of this, very, very simple. Just pour it into a PVC and stick it in the oven, or wrap it with a heat pad, cover it, do the thing, let it set up overnight, and then pop it in the freezer so you can get it out of the PVC easier, which has been the only way that I've ever been able to work with PVC ever, but it is a very effective way. Okay, and onto the cut, and I'd actually already cut these guys and realized I needed the footage. This particular recipe, speaking of the freezing, since there's so much castor oil in it, it is a soft bar for sure. And so it is probably a good idea to definitely freeze it to get it out of the mold. But even then, you're probably not going to be able to get it out for 4 or 5 days. So don't freak out. Don't panic. Whatever. It's just the nature of the recipe, just because of the higher amounts of castor. Now, I did manage to get this out of the mold about 4 days after I had poured it, and did a little cut thing. And then again, like I said, forgot that I needed to film it. So you don't get the cut, but you do get the lather. Now, whoa, camera, hi, calm down. So yes, that lather is just so big and beautiful. And when you're actually using it on a kind of scratchy area, so your legs or your face or whatever, the friction just caused between the bar and the hair itself makes it an even more delightful lather. But right there, that's beautiful. It's cleansing and bubbling, but very nourishing and just an absolute delight and a good multi-purpose for sure. So good for the legs, good for the face, good for the head, all of the things. If you try the recipe, let me know. Hope your Saturday's going awesome. That's day 249. And there they are, the multi-purpose shave soaps. And yeah, they're great. They're actually very, very cool. The insertion of the colloidal oatmeal, winning. The insertion of just a little bit of exfoliant, so the bamboo powder, winning. The insertion of high amounts of castor oil, also winning. But for those, you do need to keep in mind that if you're going to be using like PVC pipes to pour your shavers in, it's going to take quite a bit longer to unmold, even if you freeze it. It's still going to take a while. So your best bet for all recipes that have higher than like 5% castor oil is to make sure that you put them into a silicone mold so you can get them out faster. They also do stay soft a bit longer in the cure process, so look out for that too. But ultimately, yeah, it's a good bar. It's a bar that will lather nicely on the legs, so that's awesome. But also, if you take the little shave brushie, you can lather your face up really beautifully, just like with a crope. So winning all around. We like that. We like a multi-purpose bar for sure. That's a cool vibe. And now you have a recipe for it. So if you make it, let me know if you like it. These particular soaps cannot be found at soapandclay.com. I actually do prefer to keep all of my inventory separate for that. Mostly just because I like swapping out the shave soap scents for the leg shaving so often that I don't want it all to be one, group of things. I want to be able to mix it up. So that's the biggest reason why I will continue to do it my way. But here's another option if you want a multi-shave thing. So cool. I am glad that you guys joined me today. Thank you for my sudsers. A big extra special thank you to them. You guys are amazing. You're what keeps me motivated in here, even when times are weird and hard for me. It's you. So thank you for continuing to be my happy. Really. I am out of here for today, but I will see all of you guys again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.